Well, today we will look into the chapter 2 microorganism, friend and foe. So, what all organism can you see in these pictures which is given in this slide? So you can see giraffe, zebra, lions, you can see all the animals, right? And we can see human beings. Apart from that, you can see fishes, and you can also see plant, and you can also see insect. So are these the only organism which is found in the earth, or do we have some other organism also? Yes, these are not the only organisms. We have other organism apart from this. Okay. So have you noticed the wall, the old wall, after some when there is rainy season, after that you can see some greenish patches, growth of something. These are not plants, but something is growing in this wall. See in this diagram you can see something is growing in this wall, right? And also the bread, in the rainy season if you keep the bread outside, you can see some growth. You can do one thing, yeah, you can take the bread, one slice of bread, you can keep it outside, and after 3 to 4 days you can observe, in case of rainy season, within 1 to 2 days itself you can see something growing on the bread, right? We can try this experiment and we can check. So what are these? So these are typically microbes. These are microorganisms. Okay. So microorganisms, I will divide the term into two. So micro and organism. Organism means living thing, okay, which can grow, which can multiply, and which can reproduce. That is called as the organism. And micro means what? Micro means it is in term of size, that is 10 power minus 6 meter. We have millimeter, we have centimeter, and we have micrometer. So micro is 10 power minus 6 meter. So microorganisms are organisms which are in the size range 10 power minus 6 meter. Okay. So these are typically very small organisms. So can you see this microorganism with your naked eye? Normal eyes, can you see? See, now you can see animals, you can see insect, you can see some worms, everything. But is it possible for us to see the microorganism? No. These organisms are very tiny and they can be visible only under the microscope. Okay. So microscope is this. You can see here in this diagram. This is the microscope. You can see the microorganisms only with the help of microscope and they cannot be visible in the naked eye. Okay. So the definition of microorganism is tiny organisms that are visible only under the microscope. Okay. So these organisms are called as microorganism. I have a question for you all. So you have to find who invented microscope. Okay. You can Google it out. You can search your textbook or any other book and you should find who invented microscope. Okay. Next, you might have a doubt. These organisms are very small. So where do these organisms grow? These organisms can grow everywhere. Okay, they can grow in cold climates like mountains. They can grow in very hot climate like desert. They can grow in the grass. They can grow in the water. They can grow in the soil. Okay, and one more interesting fact is that these microorganisms can grow in human body also. Yes, these microorganisms can grow in human body. They can grow inside your body also. They can grow outside your body also. Okay, so these microorganisms are present everywhere and they can grow everywhere. So there are 4 types of microorganism. Okay, these are bacteria, fungi, algae, and protozoa. First, let's look into bacteria. So bacteria are unicellular. So what we mean by unicellular is uni means one, cell means the body cell, the cell which we have. Okay, unicellular organism means single cell organism. Okay, what about humans? Are we unicellular? No, we are multicellular. Why? Because we have different types of cells in our body. We have the nerve cell, we have the muscle cell, we have different types of cell in our body. Okay, but whereas bacteria are unicellular, they have only one cell. Next, so based on the shape, there are 3 types of bacteria. You can see in the diagram, see this is the rod shape. They look like rod, so these are called rod shape bacteria. Okay, next is spherical, so they are round shape, so these are called as spherical bacteria. Next is spiral shape, you have this bacteria. And what do this bacteria do? They causes disease like typhoid and tuberculosis. Next is fungi. So what can you see in this diagram? What are these and what is this? This is mushroom, right? We all eat mushroom, right? Yeah. So when can you see this mushroom and where can you find this mushroom? During rainy season, if you observe outside, like in the log, there will be some growth of small mushrooms, right? So these are not plants, they are fungi. And I also told you in the bread, right? If you keep it outside, there will be growth of few things, okay? This is fungi. Fungi is growing over the bread. Okay. So what are fungi basically? So fungi are filamentous spore-bearing organism. Okay. They are multicellular. We saw that bacteria is unicellular, but fungi is multicellular. They have so much cells. Okay. And these fungi, they do not have chlorophyll. So they are saprophyte. So if an organism has chlorophyll, they will reproduce their own food, right? So saprophyte organisms are the organism. They will, depend on the dead and decaying matter for food. An example of fungi is penicillium and yeast. And you can also remember mushroom and bread mold. Okay, these are the example of fungi. Okay, the third class of microorganism is protozoa. Protozoa are also unicellular. Unicellular means single cell. They only have one type of cell. They are unicellular. Next is they are heterotrophic. Heterotrophic means this organism, they cannot produce their own food. Okay. What are plants? Plants are autotrophs, means they can prepare their own food. Humans are heterotroph. We cannot prepare our own food. We will eat some other thing. We eat plant, we eat animals. So we are heterotrophic. Like that, protozoa is also heterotrophic. Okay. And they cause dysentery and malaria. See, these are the two examples of protozoa, amoeba and paramecium. These are the example of protozoa. Okay, algae. So in rainy season, you can find there are, in the old walls, because of moisture, there will be growth of some green patches. We know that these patches are due to the growth of microorganisms. So what that microorganism is? Algae. And also if you look into a pond or lake, there will be a upper greenish layer. So these are algae. Okay, in this diagram you can see this is algae growth. Here also this is the growth of algae. So algae are aquatic organism and they are photosynthetic. Photosynthetic means they have chlorophyll. They can produce their own food. We saw that protozoa is unicellular, whereas fungi is multicellular and bacteria is unicellular. But algae are both types. They may be unicellular, they may be multicellular. Okay, why we call algae as aquatic is because they grow only on pond, river, lakes, upon water. They need water for their growth, for their survival. And also in the wall you can see in the diagram, in this previous diagram, you can see that algae they were grown in the wall. They will not grow in all wall. If there is a moisture in the wall, the algae will grow over there. Okay, example of algae is Chlamydomonas, Volvax and Eulothrix. Okay, there is one more class of microorganism, that is virus. So we might be very common with the virus. Why? Because of the coronavirus. So we all know that it's very deadly disease, it's dangerous. So virus are infectious agent. Why it is infectious agent? Because they will reproduce inside the host cell. So they will reproduce inside the human cell and they will cause disease in us. Okay, they will cause disease like polio, chickenpox. And also we know we get influenza virus. Now we have coronavirus also. So virus are infectious agent. Okay. Next is the use of microorganism. So we might have a doubt, are all these microorganism good? You might wonder what is the purpose, why are they present? These microorganisms are beneficial and as well as they have their own disadvantage. Okay, first we will look into the advantage of the microorganism and then we will look into the disadvantages of the microorganism. Okay, first there are 4 basic uses of the microorganism. They are used for commercial purpose, medicinal use, and they increase the soil fertility. Apart from that, they are useful in the cleaning of the environment. Okay, first. Okay, so have you all wondered how curd is formed and how your mother makes dosa, idli and all? Okay, if you have not noticed, I would suggest you please go and have a look, when your mother makes curd, just have a look what she does. And just observe, when she makes the idli and dosa batter, directly she uses it for making idli dosa batter, or she stores in the fridge, or it is left outside. Okay, please observe all these things. Okay. First is curd. Uses of bacteria is for the preparation of the curd. Okay, so how we typically make curd is, we add a warm milk to little bit curd, and then the curd is formed. Have you wondered how the suddenly entire milk becomes curd? Okay, it is due to the presence of the bacteria called lactobacillus. Okay, milk is basically lactose. So this lactobacillus bacteria will act in the milk, and it will convert the lactose into lactic acid, and that is how the curd is formed. Okay, so these microorganisms are helpful in the formation of curd, right? So they are doing something good to us, right? Next is bread. You know how bread is formed, like bread, we have this atta, right? The wheat or maida atta, we have that. It's not like when you roll atta, just make it, we get bread. No, we will add some ingredient called yeast. Okay, yeast is a microorganism which I already said. It is a type of a fungi. Okay, so yeast is added to the bread. And have you wondered why the bread is, fluffy? And how many of you like pizza over here? So pizza is very common food. Everyone likes pizza over here. Have you seen the bread of pizza? It's like very fluffy and, very spongy. Have you wondered why the bread of the pizza is very fluffy and normal bread is, little thin, and they have this thick base for the pizza? Okay, well, it is due to the presence of yeast. Okay, so when you can also try at home this experiment. You can take some maida and you can add yeast powder, and next day you can see that the maida will be raised. Why? The reason is because yeast will undergo respiration and they will give out carbon dioxide. Okay, carbon dioxide is a gas, so it is released, so it will make the maida to be fluffed, and that is why we use this fluffed maida in pizza, bread, and many pastries, and all the sweet items. We use this raised maida. Okay, next, idli and dosa batter. Okay, your mother will make the idli and dosa batter, and it will not be used as such immediately. We will not use that. They will keep it outside for at least half day, or overnight it will be left, and next day only the idli and dosa would be prepared. Okay, the reason is because it will make the atta little ferment. It will make the atta ferment, and next day you will get soft idlis and and crispy dosa. There also yeast will act. Yeast is a microorganism, so this will act on your batter, and then it will help in the cooking of idli and dosa. Okay, so next is commercial use of microorganism. So here microorganism are used for the production of alcohol. Which microorganism is used for the production of alcohol is yeast. Okay, so there is a process called fermentation. So fermentation is conversion of sugar into alcohol by the yeast. So the yeast will act upon the sugar and it will convert it into alcohol. So these are used in alcohol and wine industry. They will use this yeast and they will produce alcohol and wine. Okay, and the person who introduced this process of fermentation is Louis Pasteur. He discovered the fermentation process in 1857. Okay, so next is medicinal use of microorganism. So what happens when you have a fever? Like what happens to your body when you have a fever, and what do you do when we have a fever? So when we have a fever, sometimes we catch cold, body temperature rises, right? So if you have fever, do we leave it as such, or we go and visit a doctor? So most of your parents will be worried. If you have fever, they will take you to the doctor, and what does the doctor do? Doctor will give you injection. Apart from that, he will give you tablet to treat the fever, right? Okay, so usually the tablet which the doctor give for fever is antibiotic, and also they will give some injection. Okay, so from where are these tablets and injections come from? Where do they come from? Okay, so they come from microorganism. Some microorganism can kill or stop the growth of disease causing microorganism. So these are called as antibiotic. From where we produce this antibiotic is from the bacteria and fungi. Okay, so next time when you go to a doctor, please make a note of the tablet they give you. Okay, make a note of the tablet and make a note of the injection, so you will have some more interest towards this. It will make you more interesting. So look at the name of the tablet, what tablet they give you, and injection, like you may not be able to find the name of the injection, but first you will focus on tablet. Please look at the name of the tablet which they give you. Okay.